How so?
I think the longest amount of time I've quit World of Warcraft was about 7 months, and that's because I had a job where I could not play. And when I could play, no one was online, no one I could talk to. And it got to the point where I didn't think it was worth it. So I'd quit, and then all of a sudden a new expansion comes and I jump right forward again. And I haven't stopped playing since. There's times when you think, you don't need the video game. You just want to go off and do something with your friends. Week goes by, you're suddenly realizing, I kind of miss that. And you go running back to it. So, yeah, I'm an addict.
The treatment part of it requires that the individual first admit to themselves that they have an issue. You can't do much treatment if the person involved isn't willing to be treated. And that's the big problem with it, because the payoff is such a good feeling that the person really has to accept the fact that they do have an issue with this, that there is a problem.
We noticed that when he played longer for 30 minutes, he started to get physically and emotionally aggravated or stressed. You could see his face flushing red until it got to the point where he's playing every day, and on the one day that he didn't play, he was just not listening and not behaving properly and more prone to crying and fits and stuff like that.
Jordan Stinson is a 7-year-old whose video game habits became a problem. His mother, Melvina Stinson, felt it was necessary to intervene.
He has to finish all his homework, and if he doesn't have any other extracurricular activities like lessons after school and stuff like that, and he's done all his homework, then he'll get to play for a little while.
My parents don't want me to play too much, and usually it's because my brothers are going to wake up from their nap, or it's a weekday and I still have a little homework. Don't get great on video games, but you do on homework.
Sadly, not all video game addictions are controlled.
Brandon Crisp left his residence after an argument over his Xbox being taken away and his addiction to the game Call of Duty 4.
A month later, his body was found. It's stories like Brandon's that prompted doctors at the Centre for Addiction and Mental Health in Toronto to launch Canada's first program specifically designed to treat young people addicted to video games. The Adolescent Clinical Education Service is set up to prevent things like this from happening again. It can be very hard for an addict to have the willpower to beat the addiction themselves. Many others, like Glenn, need to accept help if they can't do it on their own.
A lot of hard work between the person themselves and the clinician or the group or whatever type of sort of clinical intervention that's involved.
Glenn had trouble realizing that video games were dominating his life.
How it affects my life would be, I don't know, see it how it can be affect my life in any way.
Nobody expected anything like this.
Glenn's addiction takes over his reality. His wife, who did not want to appear on camera, decided she needed to step in and bring back structure to his life.
Well, it depends how my day is, if I have to do any house chores or clean up the house, if I have time to go rest, because usually I work in the evenings. So from there, from my day, I can usually spend my leisure on playing games, if not, whatever I have to do.
Ever since the days of Super Mario Bros., video games have been a great way to relieve stress and have a little fun. But with the advances in technology, the line between video games and reality is becoming blurred. It is up to the player to realize the difference between their existence in the game and in the real world.